Joined here with Keya, the founder of Kolour Kulture and Texture versus Race. We are so honored to have you sitting on our chairs today.
It is my pleasure, and I am certainly honored to be here.
So let's talk a little bit about your background. Can you tell me kind of how you got to where you are today?
It's a funny story, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to keep it brief, but I did not choose this path. I think the path just chose me. I think from a child, I was always very curious and had a lot of questions and just wanted to understand the why of everything. And it didn't work well for me as a child, but it has as an adult, because now I think where I'm at now is just being an industry activist and maybe a disruptor, if you will, because I just ask the right questions. I ask the questions, I want to know answers, and I'm also very I love a good result. Like I'm really I like to solve problems, if I could say that, and I like to find answers. And so when things don't present well, my question is, what can we do?
Yeah.
What can we do to change that? And so that's just kind of brought me to this particular space.
Yeah.
I didn't choose this. It really just shows me my journey through everything that I've experienced in 30 years of being in the industry has lent itself to this very moment, but I'm very resolution orientated, and I think, my curiosity for resolution has just brought me here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're such an influential person in this industry. Your everything you're doing to push texture education and inclusivity is so important. What is it about educating, at an event like this that you find so rewarding, and what do you love about it?
Well, see, when we come to events like this, we get to connect with everyone. And we get to really show people who we are and what we do. We get to connect with people through energy. Because it's one thing to read about it, it's one thing to see it from a distance, but it's another to experience. And we draw people in. When we connect with you and we're talking to you, you feel our intentions. You feel the energy. You feel all of our agenda. And you start to think about that and say, that doesn't sound so bad. Because I think the conversation about diversity, equity, and inclusion really scares people for various reasons. But when you come in contact with us, we disarm you. And then we say, but can we talk? That's my favorite line. Can we talk? Can we talk about that? Can we explore that concept?
Let's dive into this.
Tell me more about that. Why do you feel this way? Or have you ever thought of, or how about this? And I think that's the point. We're not looking to make someone agree. We're just looking for people to think.
Open their minds
Just
out.
open your mind, open your heart. And then we teach you to move your hands.
Well, to me, it's a no-brainer. Why not be inclusive? Why not get that education? Why not, elevate yourself and your skill as an artist, as a person, as a human? There's no downsides to being inclusive, to being, knowledgeable and skilled.
Well, let me just say, there hasn't been a downside to not being inclusive either.
Exactly.
Think about that. Historically, we've been allowed to operate this way forever. No one ever even gave it a thought until now.
Yeah.
So when you talk about consequence, when you talk about what's the downside, there's been no consequence to not being inclusive. There's just now this qualifier that's saying, but why aren't we? Again with the questions, but why aren't you? And why is it this way?
Yeah.
Why is the industry so segregated? Why is the church and the salon the most segregated institutions left? To be overtly segregated at that.
Yeah.
Why do we allow this? What is it about where we are right now that feels good to you?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't feel good to you, what are you willing to do to change it?
Yeah.
How do you use your own resource, your voice? How do you use your platforms to create amplification for the message that inclusivity is where it is? there is no consequence. There's only an upside,
There is.
but no one's ever considered it until now.
And people like yourself are asking why, and they're saying,
I don't know.
Now these days, though, I think the way the industry is going, there are downsides to not being
Absolutely.
inclusive.
Absolutely.
And I think if you're not keeping up with it, and if you're not
Absolutely.
moving forward, you're not educating yourself, you're going to get lost.
You absolutely are, for several reasons. One, the world is getting browner and curlier.
I love that.
Okay?
Mhm.
That's just what it is.
Mhm.
I will tell you, if you are a stylist that's looking to retire in the next 5 years or so, you're good. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to change a thing. But if you're in this industry for the long haul, you better get inclusive. You better have some diverse education and skills about yourself, or you're going to be losing. If you are a brand and you are not serving and catering to every texture of hair, you will be losing. If you are not, because now the industry, the culture of the industry has changed.
Yeah.
Our thought process around it has changed. The Pandora's box has been opened. There's no going back now.
There's no
The
going back. Yeah.
right thing has happened. George Floyd gave his life. He was murdered for this moment for us.
Yeah.
Because the awakening and the awareness is now upon us, and there's no going back, because people are saying enough already.
Yeah.
Enough already. Where are we? Who are we? What are we doing? How do we do it? What's next? How do we create a new standard? How do we elevate the industry as a whole?
Yes.
How do we do it as a community?
Mhm.
How do we do it collectively together?
Yeah.
How do we all come together and bring our voices and say, this is how the industry will operate? How do we dismantle old systems and replace them with new ones?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And we're doing it together. It's not this
beautiful.
side or that side. It's how do we come together? So
Yeah.
coming to shows like this where we touch everybody in every corner of the industry is incredible.
Would you say, finding a mentor, finding
Yeah.
somebody to collaborate with, is that the key to learning and expanding your network?
It is. It's learning and expanding your network, but it's also not being afraid to learn from people who don't look like you. The industry, the educational sector has been dominated by one race of people. And there's this stigma that Black educators or non-white educators are somehow subpar. But we are seeing Black and brown educators on every stage. There's not one stage here that they are not making an effort. Whether it's performative or not, it doesn't matter. Move your hands until your heart catches up. I'm all right with that.
I love
Like,
that.
do the right thing. Move,
Yes.
because move your hands, your heart will catch up, your mind will catch up.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I am proud of the work that I personally have done, because I have put out a lot of emotional labor into this work.
Yes.
And I can say that, but I'm not alone.
No,
And
you've
there
got
are
a
a lot of
great
people
team.
that work alongside, parallel, and not very close, but still doing their own thing, their own way,
Yeah.
and in their own space. So shout out to all of those people who are using their voice to amplify these messages, that are making room, that are changing policies, that are changing systems,
Yeah.
that allow for everybody to thrive in this industry, no matter what race, color, creed, sexuality, or intersection that they are.
Yes.
Shout out to us for making change. I'm not
Absolutely.
alone.
No, you're not. And it's beautiful to see it happen. I'm so excited.
Absolutely.
And it makes me feel so proud to be connected to this industry at this
Absolutely.
time in the world, in the history of the professional hairdressing industry. I think this is a great time to be part of it.
It's a great time to be a hairdresser.
Absolutely.
We're going down in the history books.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, our children's children will only read about this. They won't be about this.
It'll be a different world by then.
Absolutely.
I
And
love
they'll be
that.
like, y'all did that? Like, that happened?
Hello?
And we're
Yeah.
going to be able to say, but we did that. We got out here in the trenches and made
Yes.
change. I'm proud of the work that we're doing.
You should
Hey,
be.
shout out to me.